I'm Stephen Horn, and this is the 5th video in my Expand Your Mind series. In the last video, I talked about learning to understand that mistakes are part of learning, which is something that is very difficult for most people to grasp because public education has basically convinced them that you ought to be able to do it right the first time you try it. In fact, it sort of goes along with the way we grow. When our children are little, we encourage them to walk, we encourage them to talk. We're mostly encouraging with those things with children. But as they get older and they make mistakes, we start chastising them. We start criticizing them. We start finding fault with them. And the public education system does the same thing. And because of the construct of the brain, this actually makes it more and more difficult to learn. So most young children love to learn. They soak up information like a sponge, and they try things, and they're not afraid to try things and not afraid to put themselves out there. So they enter kindergarten loving to learn, and by the time they graduate from high school, they hate it. Okay, well, this is one of the things you need to understand is in the center of your brain, in this area of the hypothalamus, is the switching station that shunts information up into the higher cortex of your brain. You think of it like the inner brain is the fist and this is the higher brain on top. Well, this part of your mind doesn't like to remember negative things. So it doesn't like to shunt negative experiences into long-term memory. It loves to shunt good, happy, fun things into long-term memory. So as long as learning is a positive experience, meaning we're having fun doing it, okay, then we get a greater retention of information because more information is shunted into long-term memory. But when learning is associated with fear and punishment and judgment and criticism and other negative experiences, you wind up getting less retention of information. One of the things that we learned to do in my experimental class in learning and teaching was how to tutor a child. And we did this with a model I will talk about more in a later video. Demonstrate, imitate, reinforce, meaning you demonstrate the correct thing, like walking, the child seeks to imitate it, and you encourage their efforts. And we learned how to do this to teach kids reading, math, writing, anything. Demonstrate the correct response, have them imitate it, reinforce it. Good, that's nice, whatever. And one of the things he said was that the hardest thing that most people do is to not allow negativity to enter into the learning experience. Okay, so like what you do, you have some cards and you're demonstrating, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. So you hold up the card 1 plus 1 and you say 2. Can you say 2? Child says 2. You say good. And you get to a card. 2 plus 2 is 4. Can you say 4? 4. Yeah, 4. 2. And you go through that, and when the child starts getting the answers, you hold up the 1 plus 1 card, and the child says 2. You go, very good. You hold up the 2 plus 2 card, and the child says 3. Most people immediately say, no, wrong. They say something negative. What you're supposed to do in that tutoring thing is just, they say 3, you say 4, they say 4, and you say good. In other words, no negativity allowed at all. And using the system of tutoring, Walter Gong was able to take kids who were failing in high school, and with 20 hours of one-on-one tutoring that was nothing but positive, he would turn them around so that they were back up doing okay in schooling. It's very, very important for everyone to understand that the entire way you were taught in public school actually discouraged you from learning. And if you want to change that, you have to overcome the inner critic and start learning to again believe in yourself and find teachers and people who encourage you rather than discourage you. We'll talk more about the model and the applications of how you do this in the next video.
We welcome your feedback. Please feel free to comment on the video below. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to click on the like button. That helps us get more viewers. For more information on holistic healing on many different levels, visit my website, stephenhorn.com. You can subscribe to my free newsletter, check out my courses, or join my member program to receive premium content.